Hi, so this is our project. It's called High on Life. It will be based on the benefits of recreational and medical marijuana. My name is Jacqueline Armenta.
My name is Armando Raimundo.
I'm Alyssa Grimes.
I'm Lindsay Montoya.
Marijuana has been quite controversial throughout its time of existing. Therefore, we agreed into believing that marijuana has a lot of benefits that led up to the idea of legalizing it. We looked into its first discovery as well as its controversy with becoming legal, its current use and benefits towards mental and physical use, and lastly, its future. The marijuana industry has been prevalent for decades, making a peak in the 1970s and once again it's in recent years. Despite the numerous mental and physical benefits that the use of marijuana may bring one, and the loud outcry from the public to legalize this, medical users of this drug are always at risk of being stigmatized for their practice. We believe that legalization of marijuana in all states and even federally has been long overdue to out of date research, bad connotation of users, and the overall lack of knowledge of the drug. The efforts to make weed legal not only affects the future of society, but also affects the past decisions that have been made according to law and marijuana consumption. And now we're going to play a video.
Million Americans use medical marijuana to treat serious conditions, and that number is accelerating, especially among older adults, the fastest growing group, increasing 10 to 15% every year. Medical marijuana, here's what you need to know. The law. Is it legal? Under federal law, marijuana is illegal to sell, possess, or use. But 33 states plus DC now permit medical marijuana for qualifying patients. 13 states have passed laws allowing limited potency cannabis-based products, and 11 states plus DC legalized recreational use. The treatments. What does it treat, and does it work? There's a growing body of research that suggests marijuana may be helpful for treating certain conditions.
Not a cure-all, and this is true for cannabis. The evidence base is somewhat limited. The report by the National Academy of Sciences found evidence for pain and for sleep, for nausea, and maybe there's some growing evidence for anxiety, but we're still waiting on more scientific studies to be done.
Other studies suggest that it could help treat PTSD, manage nausea from chemotherapy, and ease pain from MS and other conditions. Considering the alternatives to marijuana, some doctors hope more research will further validate cannabis-based products.
With cannabis, you always have to ask, as opposed to what else they'd be using. If they're using it instead of opiates for pain, it's much safer than that. So while cannabis is not without its harms, and it's not without its side effects, it's almost always safer than what else you'd be using.
The process. Can a doctor prescribe it? State laws vary for medical use, but in most cases, a patient would first need to visit a state-certified or trained medical professional. They can't prescribe a product or dosage, but can provide formal approval for medical use.
The physician has to do a history and a physical, just like a regular doctor visit, and make sure that they have a condition that will qualify them for their product.
Typically, a patient would then need to apply to their state registry, which would issue a card that allows them to purchase marijuana at a dispensary, which could offer hundreds of products with a wide range of effects. Remember, potency varies by strain and form, and it can often be tough to gauge a patient's tolerance. Before engaging in a cannabis-based medical treatment, a patient should consult a doctor and approach with caution. There's limited scientific research, and as with any medication, effects vary by user.
All right, so I talked about marijuana's revolution. So users have been mass incarcerated for decades on charges related to cannabis, some even getting 10 plus year sentences for possession as small as 1 gram. This is a major problem connected with the legalization of this drug and a huge tragedy. Marijuana is prevalent in many societies, and in this paper, we will also attempt to eliminate all the good that we can do. So within the past 5 decades, the legalization of marijuana has evolved. Key limitations include decriminalization, medical marijuana laws on its use, and then in 1937, its use and distribution has been prohibited. And then state decriminalization policies were then passed in the 1970s, leading on to more of an evolution towards patient medical access laws being adopted in 1990s. Lastly, as of January 1st, 2016, 21 states have decriminalized certain marijuana possession offenses. And then those facing charges and what's next for them. So by dropping charges, these prosecutors are opening up new economic opportunities to these individuals that could have been denied because marijuana arrest on your record can disqualify individuals from student loans. Christopher Becker, he's a Kent County prosecutor. He said that he is willing to drop some of open marijuana cases due to the fact of use and possession of marijuana. Those of ages between 17 and 20 who have violated the law will indeed receive a civil infraction. He also proposed that anyone being caught selling or dealing will indeed be charged with a felony and will be prosecuted. Lastly, over 55% of voters in Michigan voted to approval of proposal number 1 during the number 6 midterm election.
In our previous research, marijuana is beneficial for physical and mental health. People get medical cards to take marijuana that helps with any pain or health condition. It has been proven that marijuana has affected people physically and mentally in a positive way. Examples would be arthritis, anxiety, depression, insomnia, and so much more. Women have spoken on how its use that has helped with menstrual cramps as well as migraines. It's set a path towards improvement.
Currently, marijuana in the United States is used mostly for 2 reasons: recreational use or medicinal purposes. The current states that weed has been fully legalized for recreational use are California, Oregon, Washington, Nevada, Alaska, Colorado, Michigan, the District of Columbia, which is Washington, D.C., Illinois, Maine, Massachusetts, and Vermont. The same rules that apply to driving under the influence or DUIs for drunk driving apply to the usage of cannabis. This also means that the user must be 21 years of age to buy or consume marijuana recreationally. This is where the medicinal use comes into play for if someone isn't 21 years old yet. In these states, along with a few others, they allow medicinal use of the plant, where a person can be only 18 years old to legally obtain the substance, as long as they have a recommendation from a doctor, more commonly known as a rec or a prescription. It's currently legal in those states to own up to about 28.5 grams, which is also an ounce, give or take, of marijuana, but no more than that is legal. And you can also only buy an ounce per day. You can't buy over that for a day. So if you're able to use all of that in one day, then it's fine. Here, it's very easy to obtain marijuana legally. Now in these states, some even having restaurants which serve edible foods that are weed infused and not so much sound like a drug deal on the side of a road. Below in this map are some of the places where you can either buy either medical or recreational marijuana. Most of the places that I included were in San Diego County, but I did add one up here in LA County for those of us that live in that county. So number 4 here is called The Pottery. It is a dispensary in LA. It's really fancy looking. It has like geometric designs on the floor and just super fancy. All of the dispensaries nowadays look really, really fancy. They claim to enhance the lives of many with their selection of marijuana, edibles, flour, and a bunch of other things. There's also some locations closer to us here in either Escondido, San Marcos, where the school is, and even some down here in San Diego. This place is called THCSD. I don't know why this isn't working. I'm so sorry. Okay, here we go. We'll just... So this is Ramona Cannabis Company. This is Ramona's first licensed medical cannabis dispensary designed with the patients in mind. Here you can experience top quality medicine paired with top quality customer service to make for the ultimate cannabis buying experience. This is called Tradecraft Farms. You can't miss this big, colorful building in Vista, California. Not only is it a storefront for medical use of marijuana, but they also offer delivery 7 days a week. THCSD is one of the larger dispensaries in San Diego area. It's well known for the mass production of nice products. And this store is also for medical and recreational purposes. These yellow circles, opposed to the blue, are going to be delivery services in our area. So this one is called Cali Express. This delivery service is called Dr. Green RX, or a medical cannabis dispensary that was established in accordance with Prop 215, which was voted into law in 1996. Their collective was started by a small group of people who wanted to be able to provide safe access to medical cannabis at reasonable price. We'll do one more. I really liked this one, if we could get it to click on it. Flora Verde, I really liked this one. This site was really wonderful. An excerpt from their website is Flora Verde. It's a veteran, local, and family-owned dispensary. They're third in their generation of people that live in Vista. They call themselves Vistans. And they're 22-year military veterans. Their focus is on giving back to the community that raised them, and this is a medical dispensary for their patients, employees, and community. They're always and will be the sole mission of Flora Verde to shop local and shop legal. I know it's a big deal to shop small businesses right now, so that really helps out with the San Diego County area. This is March and Ash in Vista. It looks kind of like an Apple store for weed. Many of the dispensaries are super high tech, and selling marijuana in this form is a good idea due to the stigma that marijuana, the drug, has. So having a showroom with a clean presentation is important. This one is called Madman, and it's in San Diego.
Important, incredible health benefits that marijuana can provide. And these are also the reasons why we believe marijuana should be legal in all states, as well as how it can really improve people's health and lifestyle. Medical marijuana is known to help with treating migraines, slowing down tumor growth, preventing seizures, treating glaucoma, relieving PMS, ADD and ADHD treatment, and calm those with Tourette's and OCD. Of our local offices are so important to the legalization of weed. People are ultimately the ones who vote to pass certain laws or props that can determine if weed is legal in the state. The future weed would help prevent citizens from going to prison for marijuana, Close to 700,000 people were primarily arrested for marijuana charges in the US in 2018. The future of marijuana legalization would take many politicians to be engaged with the pros of the plant. This would include the medical sides and how it would decrease the number of prisoners that were locked up because of this drug. The election of 2020, all you need to know about cannabis legalization on the ballot. The website we found was leafly.com, which is the ultimate marijuana's lover guide. It is very detailed and always updated with the new facts about the marijuana movement. And we're going to show you what that looks like. Okay, so the legalization on the ballot, how do you vote? Use HeadCount's Cannabis Voter Project to register to vote. Voter registration deadlines vary by state, and voting methods do not delay. So what are you voting on? The latest election news. What's at stake overall? Everything for cannabis, federal and state adult use cannabis legalization, medical cannabis policy reform, state level legalization, as well the state and local leaders who will implement or block reform. To give an example, about 79,000 votes in 3 states decided the 2016 presidential election. By contrast, 100 million eligible voters did not vote in the last election. It's such a tiny gap.
All right, so we hope to see a bright future for marijuana as it continues to change lives positively. And with further research, we can help others to understand them as well. And then these are our resources down here.